This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, hello everyone. So welcome to the second session for the Salesforce certification for the Community Cloud Consultant. It's my favorite product, Community Cloud. The reason because it's very nicely integrated into the Salesforce ecosystem and equally distanced with the Sales Cloud and the Service Cloud, and the integration at its best. So basically, on a Service Cloud, if we have a users and end users who are raising the cases and all those kind of steps can be directly done with the Community Cloud. They can see the status of the cases and orders, everything directly from the Community Cloud. On the other hand, on a Sales Cloud, the partner community can also make use of the Community Cloud to raise an opportunity and other steps around that one. So I think it's very nice product in the Salesforce ecosystems, quite nicely integrated by the Salesforce over there. So today, this is the second session, and I'm going through the sharing and security because compared to the traditional internal model of the security, the community cloud have a little bit more features around the sharing and security, which I'd like to go through that one. And it's quite important session. The reason is that for the internal people, if you have either one of the object, okay, you have a less or more access, you can somehow manage somehow that security threats within your ecosystem. But for external users, it kind of a catastrophic if you provide additional access to them, which they should not able to see that one. So you need to make sure that you make sure that the security is a paramount for the external users and take care of not leaking your data to the outside of system. So let's start. So short introduction. Okay, my name is Vinay Sail. I work at a Canon Europe.
Vinay,
Uh,
sorry to
yeah,
interrupt. Can you put it in the presenter mode, your PPTs?
it is in a presenter mode right now.
I see the slide view. Okay, sorry, then you can continue. Yeah.
I'm not sure about others. Anybody can just make a comment. It is in a presenter mode or not?
No, it's not.
Slide view here also.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Okay. Let me 1 second. Let me share it again and let me stop sharing first and shared. Since application and screen, I'm actually sharing complete full screen, full blown. Otherwise, what I will do, I will not go in a presentation mode, but I will increase the size in the normal one. That could be the another possibility.
yeah. Let's try that then.
Okay. What about now?
Yeah, I
Oh,
think it's fine.
resume sharing. Okay, pause sharing. Okay. Is it better now?
Yeah, I think for me, I can see it. Is it okay for everyone else on the call? Yeah, guys, for you
Can
as
you
well.
try function F5? It will help you to go into presentation mode from the PPT.
Yeah,
Is it?
fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
good job. Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, so just short introduction. Okay, myself Vinay Sal, working at a Canon EMEA. Okay, I take care of the B2C, B2B, and CRM domain within a Canon. And these are the list of the presenters that we have it for this series. Okay, Bhavna, myself, and Gaurav and Manmohan. Bhavna and Manmohan already presented in a session one, and we also look forward in a coming session. They are presenting more stuffs coming up. So DecodeSF certification is an unofficial Salesforce group. Okay, do not have any affiliation with the Salesforce, but promoting a culture of earning certification by providing a knowledge to the other people. So it's very important, okay, to go up in the ladder over there. Okay, the specialization to the domain architect, and that's where we are trying to help the people over there by having these sessions. So before you earn Community Cloud, my guess is that everyone have admin certification because that's a prereq over there. Again, it's the 60 questions over there. Okay, the 5 unscore questions and the registration fee 200. But if I'm not wrong, in this month, okay, if there are some webinar on a Community Cloud, then there is a 50% discount on that one. Maybe you can check on Google on that one if Salesforce having more stuffs to be offered in this month. So we are at a session 2 over here, sharing and security. So I will covering most of the aspect of the sharing and security. I will take your question at last because I have a lot of things to cover from a sharing security point of view, and I also have a couple of the live examples, a demo. Okay, I'm going to through that one. So I need to finish that one within a time over there. So I will take your questions at the last over there if you don't mind. So this is the stuff that I'm going to discuss. The very important aspect, even Bhavna stressed upon that one in the last session over there about the Salesforce communities, because depending upon the different communities, you get access of different objects. You have a different limitations on the files, the API calls. So it is very important to understand the number of Salesforce communities that we have it, and also what are the differences in terms of having additional access to those communities over there. The next one is about the user licenses, very important because with the user licenses also defines what kind of a granular level of access that you can have it on the community over there. So it's very important to understand that one. And the third one, the data sharing in a Salesforce community. So we'll deep dive into all the aspect of the communities that one can imagine as such on that one. So these are the exam objective with respect to the security I'm covering. So wherever possible, I will provide a lot of examples where you should use one kind of a security mechanism, where to use which kind of a community over there around that part. I'm not covering about determine the steps to build a public community, but if I have time later on, I can discuss that one and I can show it to you how to make some community pages as public. But you need to take care of making sure that we have a list access available to those kind of profiles over there when you're accessing it via public over there. We also have a concept called guest user. So that's something I will talk about later. And also the last one about determine the steps to provision community users. I will quickly show you later on how to do that one, because for partners and customer it's work a little bit differently. And you already know that any account that you create in a Salesforce, which can be a partner account or a customer account, how that works, I will talk about that one a little bit later. So let's move on. Okay, first of all, let's understand the communities that we have. So the first one is the Lightning External App Starters, then Customer Community Plus, Partner Community, and then Lightning External App Plus. If you just ask me, okay, these are the names, okay, but what is really treasure behind the scene? So if you see the Lightning External App Starter, it's actually providing access to the multiple hundred custom objects. So if you have a requirement, you have to build application which is not related to the Salesforce, but you have a lot of custom objects in that one, then you can use the Lightning External App Starters. As it states starters, it should have a less capability compared to the Lightning External App Plus. So we'll go through that one in a few minutes over there, what is less and what is more in that one. The next one is the basic, the customer community. Consider a scenario that you are a person account, for an example, and if you are want to see your electricity bills, or you want to see your telephone subscriptions, and what is the monthly invoice and all those kind of things, then a customer community would be the one of the best example. The other scenario that comes in a picture where you go on a particular website, customer community, then you might have also look at the subscriptions. For an example, Netflix. I'm not sure Netflix have a customer community, but I'm just giving examples. But also there are also scenario where you want to access the help knowledge articles, so that you can resolve the problem that you can have it with the TV subscriptions or anything else on that one. So that's where the customer community comes in a picture. The next one, the customer community plus, one of the best example I can give it to you, that if one of the company is a customer, and if they also have an internal employee in that customer organizations, and you need to have a manager, executive, and other kind of a role access over there, so that each person can do their job. For an example, manager can view the reports, then other employee in that customer can raise orders towards your company. So it's kind of a B2B administrations. That's where the customer community plus licenses comes in. The exact differences, it's there in a coming slide, so I will talk about that one. The next one is a very powerful community, that's partner community, where also you are allowing your partner to do the business, and for that you are also providing the prices, price books, the product information, opportunity, campaign, leads, all such kind of information, which is kind of equivalent to the Sales Cloud license, but there is a big difference between a partner community and internal Sales Cloud license, because this is for external facing. So we have also the limitations on the file storage and other things, API calls and all other things. We'll talk about that one in a few seconds. And the last one, Lightning External App Plus, quite heavy in terms of the custom object, 100 custom object access, and also the file storage and API calls are far more compared to the Lightning External App Starters. That's where it differs in terms of the capability point of view. So if I summarize everything and go back and put it over here in this case, so the first two, okay, those are the high volume users over there. That there could be millions of users who can access that one. And because it's in a millions, we do not have the role-based access available for those. But if you look at the customer community plus, partner community, and Lightning External App plus, these are the role-based communities over there. So you can have a roles like an executive, manager, user over there. Okay, it can go max up to the 3 levels. I will show you how it can be done in a community settings over there. And also the those 3 communities also are intended for the less number of the users, okay, in a couple of millions, okay, around that one, compared to the millions of more than 10 millions or something that you are talking about a customer and Lightning External App started over there. If you look at the bottom, the way I explained, okay, the Lightning External App started meant for the custom application development, customer community for B2C, the self-service and help and all those kind of things. So where there is too much focus on a cases, knowledge, contracts, and orders. And the customer community plus everything that you can cover in a customer community, plus the report and dashboards and a delegated admin. I will talk about the delegated admin a little bit later, and also the role-based sharing at the top. Then with the partner community, you can get everything that you have it in a customer community plus, but also you get access to the lead, opportunity, and campaigns over there. And then last one, the Lightning External App Plus, we also have the 100 custom object access plus additional storage and API calls. So that's a distinguished factor over there. So if I put it in the order where it can pile up, okay, the Lightning External Apps and customer community is quite isolated, because Lightning Apps External App Starter is completely based upon the custom object. But if you look at the customer community, then the whole access level get piled up sector for the customer community plus partner community. And the Lightning External Apps, it's kind of equivalent to the partner community, but there are some differences which I'll talk about in a few seconds. So this is very important over here. I'm not going through each line by line, but I want to few of the things which I want to address over there. So if I look at the partner community, it's quite strong one, right? So you always try to compare the partner community with the customer community, what is less and what is more in that one. So as I said, partner community have additional access to the campaigns, leads, and opportunities. So if you look over here, okay, for a campaigns, the customer and customer community plus, they do not have access over here. Okay, but think about from customer point of view, what you need to have access to. So for an example, accounts itself, asset, for example, any product that you bought before, of course the cases, then the contacts, that nothing but might be you or the subordinate within your company, then the contracts, okay, for which you buy the particular product, for example mobile subscription, for example. The dashboard is quite interesting one. The dashboard and reporting is only in the customer community plus and a partner community, okay, that's where the plus and partner community comes in the picture. The document is read, and if you see the other ones, the leads at the bottom, okay, I'm not going through the each and every one. So leads is only meant for the partner community over there, compared to the customer community and customer community plus, because that's the cream of the whole licenses within a community. That's a partner community that gets in. So all the steps is mentioned at the link at below over there, so you can have a look at it over there. So the other slide that goes on the same line, if you look at the second row, opportunity is mostly for the partner community, and orders, everyone can see that one. The customer community, price books, products, everyone can see that one. The quotes, because it's connected to the opportunity, that's why it's only in a partner community over there. Reports, as I stated, only for a customer and partner community over there, and all other service related stuffs, okay, that comes in the all the communities over there in that case. So it means the customer community is the subset of customer community plus, and the customer community plus is more or equal actually to the partner community over here in this case. So when you are reading this one, just keep one thing in mind. For partner community, the main distinguish factor between other communities is lead, opportunity, and campaigns, report, dashboards. And for customer community, you can think about everything about the cases, contracts, orders, all those kind of informations over there, so that you don't need to buy hard everything over here, but you get a concept out of this one where the access is there in each of the community over there. And it's also connected to your license get associated. I will talk about that one in a couple of moments. But what you talk about is the standard object, but what about the other stuffs within each community over here? So if you see the additional data storage point of view, the Lightning external apps is the richest one, the 45 MB compared to the partner community 5 MB over there in that case. And also the API calls, it's quite higher in the Lightning external apps compared to the other one in that case. The other things, the custom objects for the Lightning external apps and the Lightning external app plus, we have 100 of custom objects over there. The another important aspect, the delegated administration. So if you want to, if your customer want to manage their internal employee within that community, then the delegated administration comes in the picture, which is only available in a customer community plus and partner community and external app plus. Then the next one is the knowledge, which is there in the all the community over there. So, and also the other few steps which I want to talk about is nothing but sharing sets, which I will talk about in a few moments. We also have a demo on that one. We also have a Salesforce app, but also all the communities can be published via mobile publisher. So it is nothing but the web version of the communities you can encapsulate into the mobile app kind of a functions over there. And other things like a recognition batches. So if you have some kind of a competition within your community among the users for answering the questions and all those kind of stuff, so you can have the recognition batches over there, but it's available in everyone. So those are the high level steps. Okay, so what the steps I want you to get out of this one, the partner community and Lightning external app plus are kind of a strong, okay, and of course might be the expensive behind the scene compared to the other one. And the customer community plus is kind of a one which is mostly suits for the B2C propositions, but if the customer community plus and partner community is more suited for the B2B proposition. Having said that one, you can also use the customer community plus, okay, in a different circumstances over there depending upon your requirement over here. So that's all about the differentiation between the all the communities that we have it over here. So let's go to the data sharing in the communities, and these are the different ways on the right hand side on external, that's for the community, okay, different ways to share the data. Some of them are quite similar to the internal, like a profile permission set. So I also have the slide for each one mentioned on the right hand side, but a few of them I will run fast. And the new ones like sharing set and sharing group and Superuser, I will spend a little bit more time on that one to explain, because that's completely new with respect to the community compared to the other ones in that case. But before go into the profile, there is a one important aspect with respect to the licensing that one should know. That's about how the licensing works for the communities. The first one is the member-based community, and another one is the login-based community. When it is a member-based community, it means the it's work exactly like an internal user, that you assign a member-based community license to the one person over there. And in login base, it is based upon the unique logins to be used on a monthly basis over there. So it's not depending upon a person, but it depending upon the number of logins that you need to pay to the Salesforce. The one of the interesting example that Salesforce came over here, okay, the ratio between the monthly logins that you purchase and the number of login licenses that you need to provision, the ratio is 1:2. It means, one example, if we have 1,000 monthly logins, okay, that you purchase from a Salesforce, it means you can assign your login licenses to 20,000 people over there. And if you need more, okay, suppose it need to be assigned to the 40,000 login licenses to the people. So suppose if you have 40,000 users, then you need to assign that one to the 2,000 monthly logins need to purchase from Salesforce over there. So it's quite interesting, and how Salesforce determines that login session unique per day. It is for the login session maximum timeout is for 24 hours. So in that time, doesn't matter how many times you log in, it will consider as a one login over there. It's quite interesting stuff from a Salesforce over here, the way they put down the licensing over there. Most of the organization try to go for the login based licenses, because depending upon the number of people log in, they can pay to the Salesforce, and they can manage their licensing schema over there, instead of just putting that one license attached to the one user. That's the common scenario for the normal internal user license assignment within a Salesforce. So that's the interesting thing. And another one, the channel account, which is quite interesting one, because channel account is connected to the partner community licenses, but it is neither member base or neither login base. So how it works? So the channel account means the license is actually with respect to the number of partner accounts that you have it. So consider a scenario that you do not know how many partner user licenses I need to buy, either member or a login base. Then I purchase licenses based upon a number of partners. For example, if you have 100 partners, irrespective of number of people in that particular partner account, it could be 500 or 1,000. Okay, you are paying for that channel accounts, you are paying for the partner accounts towards Salesforce, not member base, not login base, which is kind of a different kind of a licensing style. It doesn't affect too much for the security, but just keep in mind if in case there is a question in a certification. Okay, let's move on. Okay, now there are few steps at the start. As I mentioned, the profile permission, I will move it very quickly. So these are the standard, the profiles are over there. I do not need to say that you need to clone these profiles and do the make necessary changes on top of that one based upon your business requirement. And the profile is related to a single community license type over there. So you can clone it and make use of that one in your ecosystem. The another one, the external org wide defaults. You might be wondering, in the sharing setting, you see over there that, okay, there's a default external access. What is for? So that's for the community. One important aspect of this one, always make sure that external users can't have more access than internal users over there. Okay, that's very, very important stuff. So it means the internal user must have, okay, or equal to the access of the external users over there, just to safeguard your communities around that part. So before, even if you start any community or creating any community, make sure that your default external access is controlled very sharply. Otherwise, you will tend to expose the more information from your community compared to what it's intended to. So it's very, very important aspect to set up the external wide defaults as the best practice before even you start creating a new community within your ecosystem over there. The few steps that you cannot control, just to say, on a campaign members. Okay, then the activity calendar and a price book. Okay, there you cannot have access over there. Initially there were more limitation, but now we can almost set up almost for everything except for those one over there. Then the next one is the account role hierarchy. So for internal org, you already know how it works. So VP, channels, sales at the top, and then the director reporting to them, and the manager reporting to the directors over there. So that's perfectly work for internal org. But how it works with the communities? So for communities, you also have the executive manager and user. Okay, it's based upon the setting that you do it in a community. I will show it to you in a couple of minutes. But consider that email channel manager is the internal guy who is the owner of the partner account. So in that case, the executive manager and user, in that sequence, that executive guy is actually reporting to the email channel manager in the hierarchy over there. Manager reporting to executive and user is reporting to the manager over there in that case. So that's the way the internal and external hierarchy works. There is a very nice YouTube video by Salesforce. I provided a link over there. So when I will share the deck, you will also get it that one. And there's some nice material over there. So just think about when this is kind of extension of the internal org role hierarchy over here in this case. And for communities, it's just nothing but it's connected towards the channel manager, who is account owner of that particular partner account, and the executive manager user are nothing but roles within that particular partner account over here. So that's the way it should be read it over here. So few consideration, okay. The account roles created with the first community users, okay, and default is 1. And also you can have maximum 5,000, but also you can need to connect with the Salesforce if you want to have a restrictions to be raised over there. And it's only available for customer community plus and a partner community. The main reason, because these communities are role-based communities, and it's only available for the business accounts over here. So this is the stuff which I will show to you how that works. Okay. So the very important aspect within a setup, okay, with respect to the communities, okay, is nothing but the community settings. And if you go in community settings, so here there are customer roles and a partner roles defined over there. So if it is a 1 means it's a just 1, but if you have a 3, it means the way I mentioned, the executive manager and the user that comes in a picture. So that's the setting that comes in a picture for the managing the roles over there. And if you go in the administration, okay, if you do not want the default names for a customer, partner, employee, you can also override with the partner. For an example, if you don't want to mention the partner, you can give your organization's hyphen partner and that kind of a roles over here in this case over there. So that's about the role hierarchy, only available for the customer community plus and the partner one in this case. I will take a little bit of pause over there. Okay, I'm not sure I'm going a bit fast or slow. So if you have any questions meantime, okay, I will take that one.
Thanks, Vinay. I think for me, I think you are going with the right speed. Only one question for a role hierarchy. So for a communities, right, we can have in the same structure, right? Like given access uh, uh, as we have shown for the internal organization. Can we also give an access similar manner that there is a
Mm,
VP channel sales and who can have 3 subordinates under it?
No, it's not like that one. So that's the point over here. So just a setting which I showed to you, the 3-1, okay, it means these are the executive manager user. These are the prefix by Salesforce over there. It cannot be expanded more than that one. Okay, so that's the one that Salesforce community automatically creates for you in this case. Okay, when you say 3 over there in that case, and that get attached to the internal org via the channel manager or account owner of that particular partner account. So it cannot be done like an internal org. It's just nothing but to take it as the extension, but it's not a full-fledged of extensions. It means
So we can have only 3 role: executive, manager, and user.
you are right.
Okay, and if there are 5 users with a role manager, they all the data of all those 5 could be seen by anyone who's executive as having a role as executive.
You are right. You are right.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So, but you do not have a kind of a the setting place where like an internal org where you set up the role hierarchy. You do not have a such kind of a thing within a Salesforce for community users in that case.
Yeah, makes sense. Thank you very much for clarifying
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Vinay. This is Uday.
Yeah.
It's regarding licenses. So if we have an unlimited Salesforce license, like we usually get 500 community.
Your voice is not good. Can you just be close to the mic and just be clear your question? I didn't get that one.
Yeah. So if we use, is it better now?
It's okay. I can hear you, but let's see.
Yeah. Let me try. Yeah. Is it better now?
Yeah, it is better compared to previous.
Yeah. It's regarding licenses. So if we use unlimited license, we usually get 500 community licenses, right? So like, is these whatever the plus licenses you are talking about and partner community licenses, do we need to purchase it again?
Yeah, that's completely question with respect to your Salesforce account manager rather than me. Okay, so
Okay.
my whole community discussion is based upon that you already have the licenses, and how you procure those licenses from Salesforce is a completely different, altogether different topic all over there. So I don't want to comment on that one, on this
Okay.
one, on the purchasing part over there. That's, I think you need to contact with the Salesforce account manager for that.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so
And
y- yeah.
sorry, in previous slide you mentioned 5,000 is the minimum roles and 50,000 is the maximum roles.
Yeah.
I'm actually a bit confused there.
Yeah, so what happened when you have a default role 5,000, okay, you mentioned the 3 1, right, over there, of the max 3. So when you defined over there, so it depending upon the number of accounts, okay, your roles will be run out of actually later on, okay, because for per account, if you set up 3, it means the 3 roles has been eaten up over there in that case. So if you have as many of different account that comes in over there, then also there is a number of roles that you will exhaust a lot in that case. So that's the reason you need to connect to the Salesforce to increase the role. The problem with the roles, just a general comment within a Salesforce over there. If you have a roles, it means also it comes with a performance penalty within a Salesforce, and also it comes with the heavy security mechanism that comes in a Salesforce behind the scene. That's the reason Salesforce would like to limit the roles as much as possible, so that there will not be any pressure with respect to the performance behind the scene for a Salesforce over there. So
Okay.
that's the one of the reason. If you see number of roles in the partner community and the customer community plus is provides, but at the same time the number of users get drastically increased, right? Couple of millions. But if you see the other one like a customer community, no roles, but of course you can have a more number of users. So it's a give and take. It's a balancing act that Salesforce is trying to do it over there, which is quite good, if you ask me, because that's the way it should be to also see the performance of the system is optimum level.
Okay, these 3 roles which we mentioned, which will be linked to the respective accounts, correct? That's why
You
this
are
limit.
you are you are right.
Okay, thank you. Got
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
hi
I will.
Vinay.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, so Rishi here. So are we saying that we can have up to 5,000 default roles, and across different account we can have, like, since in the previous slide you mentioned it will be user, manager, and executive. So that
You
is
are.
my first account. But
Yeah,
for second account, maybe I can have a different set of roles. Is that
yeah.
the case? We are looking at the 5,000 limit
Yeah,
here.
you are right. You are right. So basically, when you create a role, when you go on a create a role for a 2 accounts, you can see, for an example, account A is, for an example, for account XYZ, is why it will say XYZ executive, XYZ manager, XYZ user. If you have another account ABC, it will say ABC executive, ABC manager, ABC user, and that's the way the roles get exhausted behind the scene.
Okay, okay, got it now. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, I will just quickly move to the next one or around this one. Okay, I will take the question. I will take a regular pause. Okay, if you have more questions, okay, I will let me finish few of the other slides over there. Okay, the next one is about the sharing sets. It's quite interesting one. There is also a nice video. Okay, I will share the whole complete community sharing. There is the one nice the video set from the video ad. Okay, this over there. It's quite nice one. Okay, I will share that one later on that one. So the sharing set on a cases. So what is the problem that you're talking about to have the sharing sets over here in this case? Consider that cases over here. So you can raise a case directly from the community as a user. Okay, you can raise that one, but consider that your colleague, okay, he doesn't have access to the community. Okay, and he just called directly to the customer care of particular company, and that agent behind the scene create a case. Now that case created is that for particular account, that particular company, okay, but it's not visible to the people. Okay, it it could be possible that you may complain about your product that you purchase. It could be for an example the camera or Netflix or your telephone subscriptions over there, but the case created not by you on a community, but it's created by the agent over there in that case. Okay, and that's something that you want to see it in the community. But another use case that is shown over here, there is the organization, there are multiple people working on that one. Okay, and this guy created this particular two cases, and this is having a one, and this guy created a two cases, but in because they're in the same organization, they are able to see the cases of each others. That could be the another use case over there. So how to resolve that one? Because the philosophy of Salesforce is that with the OWD, okay, if you are the owner, you are able to see the cases. But what if you are not the owner, but you are a part of the same organization, they should also be able to see the cases over there. So I will show you that one, how that should be working over there. So just a few consideration. Okay, a sharing site grants a community user access to any records within that particular account or contact that matches the user account. So account scenario which I just explained, but a contact scenario that somebody raise a case by agent, okay, in the portal where you are the contact and you want to see that particular case within a community, because the owner for that particular case is the internal user, that agent over there. So how to see that? So that's the use case that you're talking about. Okay, the grant community user access to all the cases related to an account that identify on the user's contact records. I will show you that how that works. The few consideration you need to take into the account, especially with respect to the reporting. The records shared by sharing set can be seen in reports, and the reports use the same underlying infrastructure behind the scene over there, so that works fine over there. But there is also limitation with respect to the sharing sets aren't visible based upon the role hierarchies over there, because the way that the sharing set works over there. Do not think about too much around that part over there, unless you do not have a strong requirement with respect to the reporting and the dashboard over there, but you have a strong requirement with respect to the sharing of the records over there. That's very important over there. And to share a records owned by the high volume portal users, use a share group. That's the next one I will talk about over there in this case. But also this can be same, instead of case, you can also replace that one with a custom object. You can replace with the orders and other things around that one for the account on which you are representing over there. So how to deal with that one? So these are the objects in a scope that you can work out. These are the standard one, but also it's everything available in a custom object. That is also a way that you can share the stuff over there. So how it works? Okay, let me explain. This I will create in a few moments, but let me explain this one. So you are a user, you are belonging to the particular account, and you want to see the all the cases, okay, relating to that particular account, okay, and which kind of access that you have it. If I want to change that one, okay, for contacts, the user is always associated with the contacts, and that particular case having that particular contact, then you can see all the cases with that particular contacts. But I can also change it for any object. So replace that target case with a custom object or order anything over there. So user, okay, having access to the account, but that account also having a particular custom object or orders, and orders having also relationship with the accounts, then you can see all the orders with respect to the account over here. So I'm trying to give you all the permutation combinations, okay, with respect to this one that can be possible over there. So what I can do, quickly go through the one of the demo scenario which I have created. So consider this is the community user over here. Okay, I'm already logged into that one. Just to save a little bit time on that one, let me refresh if everything is perfect. Okay, so I can see the two cases because I created these cases, okay, directly from the community over here. So that's the reason I'm able to see that these cases. Okay, but if I go back into the Salesforce, so this is account, my contract. I'm just using from a CPQ. I'm just using the previous CPQ sandbox over there. So I'm reusing the account from there. So this is my account. That's called my contract over there, and I have three cases. So that guy, Albert Einstein, is able to see only these two cases right now because he created that one. But the third one is actually created by me as an agent. I'm a system admin, but just think about I'm an agent for now. Okay, and it doesn't have any contact names and everything over there. So this guy should able to see, okay, on a community user, this one, because he is also from the same account over here in this case. So how to deal with that one? So the sharing set that comes in a picture. So where is that sharing set? So here is the sharing set. I already created a sharing set, but I haven't put down the rules over there. So I'm going to create a rule over there. The few steps need to be considered. Okay, this is just a name I have provided, the API name, to whom it get assigned. So it get assigned to the customer community login user. Bear in mind, I didn't clone the profile. I'm using the standard one, but in a real life, you should clone the profile over there, but I'm using a standard one. I want to give the access to the case. Okay, now I'm going to set up that one. So on a user account and also target on account, then I'm going to give retread access for an example. And I'm going to save it. Okay, so everything I set up over here. Let me go through the over here, and if I able to see that one, no. Let me refresh completely, or not my cases, but my open cases. Yeah, because it will show just my cases, right? Yeah, so it should able to see the case over here. Okay, that is belong to his account over here in this case. Previously the my cases was only the my cases, but that's the reason it was showing, but now it's showing all the open cases with that particular organization over here in this case. So that's the way it works. So basically any information belong to the account should be able to show to this particular user over here in this case. Okay, the community users. That's the main aspect of this one. Going back over here, okay, there could be also the another rule or something that we can do with that one. For an example, if you are a contact with a multiple accounts, okay, so how that's going to be work in that case. So if you have the multiple contact with a multiple account, it already enabled. So you can also have the fields like a contact related account. Okay, and also you can set up the related account stuffs over here. Okay, it's account over here in this case. So it means if your users having a particular contact and having a multiple accounts to that one, so you can also able to see the cases with those accounts as well in that case. You can play with that with this particular one. Okay, this is not, I would not say it's a complete best way of sharing the information or sharing the record, but at least the Salesforce comes with this one, which can make easy to share the records between all the people over there. Okay, so that's about the sharing set, and also we talked about the sharing set with the multiple accounts on that case. Okay, let me go to the sharing groups. Okay, the problem with the F5 is that it goes, the control goes to the first one. Okay, anyway, let's go to the sharing groups. Yeah, so what's the problem that you are trying to solve over here? So here, the first one with the sharing set, we are able to provide access to the all the people, okay, who are belong to the same organization. You create a case, okay, the owner will be you, right? In that case, in this case also owner will be you in that case. But what about if I want to show all the cases to the internal employee or internal agents who are working at a particular organization, okay, to support those guys over there? Because now it's owned by those guys, but they do not have access to that one. That's where the sharing groups comes in a picture, where you can provide access to the internal employee. So what's the share groups allow you actually? The share group allow you to share the records owned by high volume community, in this case customer community and all those, okay, with the internal and external users as well in that case. Okay, so you can also do it with another community users in that case. And high volume users are limited access community or portal user intended for orgs with many thousands of million of external users, but you want to share that access to the internal people, and that's the way you need to deal with this one. So the share groups apply across communities. That's a very interesting statement over there. Okay, of course you need to have a membership of that particular community over there. Without that, not possible. I will show you the how to have the membership for the community over there. So that's a very interesting one on that one. So what I will do, quickly go through the over here, and how it works is that if you just go on edit over here, not edit, but go back and save it. Okay, and the case sharing, for an example, because every sharing group is also associated with the sharing set over here. So here we are talking about to the cases, okay, and here the sharing group comes in a picture. Okay, I'm not going to do anything over here right now, okay, but what I'm going to do is that you can select the public groups, which could be the internal people roles or other subordinates, or also the portal subordinates and the users, and you can share all the cases to the internal team. I cannot demonstrate over here right now because I'm logged in as an admin and I have a full access, so I can see all the cases over here the way I showed previously over there. But imagine if you do not, if you are not admin and you have restricted access on the cases on internal one, but you want to see all the cases raised by all the people over there, so you can pull them in a public group or a role, and you can provide access to those guys. Okay, you can also choose the role users from that particular the agents over there. Okay, you can pull down the name over there so that you can give the access to those particular cases or different objects over there in this case. So that's about the share group settings. Okay, unfortunately I cannot show that one. I'm already logged in as the admin, so I will leave that one right now. Okay, so that's about the sharing group. Okay, let's go to the, again it will go to the top, but I will quickly go to the next one. Okay, the sharing groups that we talk about. Let's go to the sharing rules. So sharing rules are nothing but the standard one that you have it over there, okay, to set up the OWD. But if you lately notice, okay, let me also go back to this one, okay, to explain it to you very clearly how that works. So basically you know already the sharing rules. I don't need to tell you about that one, but if you notice there are a few additional stuffs in the sharing, okay, that comes in a picture, which I want to highlight to you, that is meant for the community folks. Okay, so if I say, for an example, account sharing, for an example, okay, and here and share with, you can also have the portal subordinates, okay, roles internal and portal subordinates comes in a picture. So that means you are sharing something to the outside world over here in this case. Just to keep in mind, okay, normally when you create a sharing set, you normally try to ignore because you do not have sometimes the community users. But if you are thinking about a community in the future, you also try to see if this can be utilized or not based upon your scenario that you're talking about over here. So that's about the sharing rules that comes in a picture. The next one is quite interesting one, the super user access. We already talked about as a part of a customer community plus, the super user access comes in a picture, as well as for the partner community users. Okay, they have access to the super user licenses over there. And what are they basically? So the super users have access to a little bit more data compared to the normal community users over there. But that additional data is accessed to that one is limited to the leads, custom objects and opportunity only. So it means you are kind of a customer community, but you are trying to give a little bit more flavor to the or to the partner community kind of a stuff actually, to by using providing access as a super user over there in that case. So that's the super user comes in a picture, okay? And with the super user, user can also access the data owned by the other partner users who have the same role and a role below them around that one, because the super user concept is comes with the role-based access, especially with the customer community plus and a partner. So it means uh, you can also see the data from a different partner users over there in this case. Um, the other important thing about the super user that you can also have the reports. You can do it. Okay, that's the additional feature that comes with the super user over here, and you can, but you need to have the run report permission over there. So it's quite important over here in this case. Just revisiting the super user access with the other partner users with the same role and all that. For an example, if you are a manager in that hierarchy over there, and if you have the super user access over there, you can also see the record below into that hierarchy over there, and also having a same role within that particular the hierarchy within that particular partner account over here. There are two ways to provide access to the super user. Okay, one for the customer community users, it always via permission set, and for the partner user on a contract record, you have failed to mark it as a super user over there in that case. So these are the two ways. With a super user, you get additional data access to the leads opportunity. Just to summarize, you can get access to the hierarchical stuff like executive manager and the user. You can get access to the below role of that one, and a third and important one that you get access to the reports over there. So these are the three important stuff that you can do with the super user on that one. Okay, just moving on to the next one. With a super user, you also get access with the delegated account management. What is delegated account management in this case? Okay, so as the screenshot shows, okay, there is the account management. Okay, so it means you are able to manage users within that particular customer. So suppose you provided access to the super user access to the one of the guy within a customer company, and that user can manage the accounts or users within that particular organization itself. There might be possibility sometimes that user leaves the organization from the customer or B2B customer, for an example, over there, and they need to get rid of the access of that particular guy or want to onboard a new users within that particular account and to provide access to the community over there. So that can be done with a delegated account management. It is one of the permission set. That permission is only available for the super user and a partner community. I think it's with the super user only in that case. Okay, it's available on that one, and in a partner community is also available, provided that you check the contact with the super user on that one. The next one is a public groups. You already know how to create a group. Okay, a public group within Salesforce. Okay, I'm not going to repeat that one, but also please consider that we also have portal roles comes in a picture. Roles and internal portal subordinate also comes in a picture. So when you are creating a public group within Salesforce over there. The next one is about the groups in the community. Okay, the interesting stuff. So you have a use case that you want to have a groups within a community, the people who are talking about the same subject like a backpacking or a fitness clubs and all those kind of stuffs. So you can also create a groups within a community over there. The interesting part is that you can create those groups only from the community. So if I have this community, okay, I can go and I can, if I have access to do those creation of the groups and all those kind of a thing. So you can also create a groups over here in this case. So this is the one group, okay, I just created. It's not rendering correctly over here, but this is the group I created where this is for the camping one. Okay, I can also add new users over here in this case if I want to have any files, records, and all those kind of stuffs over there. And I can manage the notifications. So if I want to inform them, okay, there is a one new camping stuff that coming up nearby, okay, I can also do the manage notifications and all those kind of stuffs over here in this case. But this group can be created only in the community over here in this case. Okay, so for an example, if I go over here, I can create a new group over here in this case. Okay, but this group is meant to be bring all the people together having a similar interest on the community over there. So you can have the live community where people are talking to each other and try to extract more information. Like it's similar to the any technology forum where people post questions and people try to get answers. It's kind of a getting the information on their own without reaching to the vendor company in that case. So that's about groups in the community. Okay, there are few stuffs that you need to take care of that one, who can really create a groups within a community. Okay, and how to manage the proper access levels to those members over there. In that case, you need to be a little bit careful from security point of view. The next one is the user visibility, because sometimes people like to keep the community very much private. Okay, so user can see only the information, all those kind of stuff, especially the transactional website. But there are some communities where you build for helping the people to gain the knowledge, to understand how the product works. If problem comes in, how they can solve it on their own without reaching to the customer agents by saving a lot of money and all those kind of stuff. So in that case, the visibility is becoming important over there. So if you really want people to mingle with each other, so in that case, you can also set up the community user visibility in such a way that people can see each other's profiles and see each other over here in this case. So there are two important settings available, okay, for the community user visibility over there. I hope I have it on a second slide. Yeah, so that is in the preferences, okay, within the administration over there. So let's other member see other members of this community, and let's guest users see the other members of this particular community over there in that case. So it's all depend upon what is the desire from your company. If people want to collaborate with each other, and if you want to see those each other guys, keeping in mind the security compliance and all the GDPR regulation comes in the picture, it's up to you guys on that one, what you want to enable over here. So there are a few settings available. So if I go back into the community settings, no, not all, it's on the sharing setting, by the way. Sorry. It's sometimes very hard to remember the which setting is where, but it comes with the backs. Okay, let me scroll down. Yeah. So this is one for the previous step. Okay, forget about that one. But this is the one, the community user visibility that comes in a picture. Okay, that's the setting that I was talking about over here. But that's not the only setting, because you also need to have the other setting to be in a place, which is nothing but in a preferences. These are the two one, the see other members of this community and let guest users one on that one. There is one nice article which talks about how those two settings works over there. One is on and another is off and all those kind of stuff. So there are a little bit of combinations around that one, how you want to show the data to the external users over there. So let's move on. The channel account relationship, which I'm bit really like this kind of a stuff. Okay, this is very interesting scenario. Okay, so you have a partner, okay, who for an example is a distributor, but also distributor, if they are trying to sell to the other guys over there, they also have a resellers over there, and the resellers are also able to see the data of the distributors, some of the information, not all. And also, for an example, you are a kind of a dealership, but also for selling something to the outside, you also need to take help of a legal to review the contract, for an example. And also from a service point of view, you want to see some service related data over there. So how to deal with that one, because you want to provide a control access to the different people, okay, based upon certain information or specialization they have it. So I think this came very I think in the last year itself, late in the last year in the release, summer 19, I guess, channel account relationships, and quite interesting features. I will show it to you how that works. So to enable that one, you need to make it enable the enable account relationships over here in this case. Okay, that flag need to be enabled. And if you go in the over here, so there is something called account relationship data sharing rule settings over there. So I have a two relationships over here in this case. Okay, what are they are? So I'm just going to view that one. So forget about this one, or this just a naming convention. The rule says that, okay, the account relationships is of type system integrator. So if I have another company relationship with a system integrator, they should able to see the opportunity information, okay, based upon account ID criteria over here in this case. Okay, so that most important thing over here. And the second one, if that I just put it over here, that for agents should able to see only the cases. So it might be possible that I might be outsourcing my whole case handling to the other company, for an example, and they want to see the information for the cases over there. So based upon account ID, I can actually show them all the cases related to that particular account over here in this case. So what happens in the account over here in this case? So if I go to the account, my contract, for an example, and if I go on a related over here in this case, okay, so there are two kind of a relationships. Okay, I have a from account relationship, account from and account to. So here I'm saying the my contract to the single order. Single order is another account that I have as a system integrator over here in this case. Okay, so because of this relationship is defined, I'm providing access of all the opportunity, okay, that my contract is having to single order account. The second one, I'm giving all the access of cases from my contract to the single order account over here. That should be the way of treating this one on this one. This is the very latest feature that comes in a Salesforce over there, and which can be very useful if you have a kind of a setup where you have a distributors, reseller, legal, compliance team, and all other teams within your organization that comes in picture to you want to share the data over here in this case, not only for internal but also for the partner stuffs over there. So it's quite a unique one in that case. Okay, so that's about the channel account relationship over here in this case. And registrations and membership, I can quickly show it to you how that works. So I need to go in setting for that one. Okay, yeah, here, this is very interesting one. So how it works? So we talked about the profiles, right? So you can choose the all the profiles. Okay, for an example, the customer profiles over here in this case. So I have a two profiles. Okay, the system admin, just I put it in case needed. But in a customer community login user, that's the profile I'm using over here. So added into this particular community, the SRL, that's the community name. So I added into this one, and also added a super user access to that particular guy over here in my case, but I'm not showing the tag for the reports and all that, so it's not able to see that one over there. So this is the way you onboard the user. So this particular profile is already assigned to the people over here in this case. That's the reason that particular user can log in into the systems over here in this case. The other important features are a login and registrations over here. Okay, so you can put a look and feel, the logos and all the stuff. Okay, the way you like to have it over there. You can have your own login pages. I'm using a default one directly from the Salesforce over here in this case. And also you define the logout URLs and also the password change over here in this case. And if you want to allow people to register, this is very important stuff. Because for the high volume customer community where you would like people to register directly, but for partners and B2B propositions, you would like to have a special onboarding process. You do not just want to allow them to register on your portal and give them access, because you are providing also access to the invoice orders or some kind of other steps on that one. So in that case, you will onboard the user with a different fashion. But if you have the customer community with the mobile subscriptions or something else, then definitely you can allow them to the self registration, but also kind of a validation with respect to your customer ID, and all those kind of steps need to be run behind the scene over there. Next to that one, there is also possibility that you can also allow login with a discovery. Okay, so you just put down the first name over here or username, and you can define the from where it need to be enabled. But also you can have the social logins can be also available over here in that case. That is also possibility over here in this case. When you log in or registered, you also need to get the email communication, right? Okay, so that's where the email communication comes in a picture, where you are forgot change passwords, all kind of a email template that you can define over here in this case. So that's all about how that whole logging process works, very quickly and very high level on that one. But the way it works in Salesforce over here, so for an example, this is the contact, and on a related you have this particular contact for which I have enabled the login process over here. And in that case, the way it works is that you need to enable that particular user, okay, as a portal user over here. This particular user is already enabled, okay. So let me check if I can do that one, because the way the community login works is that for community you always have a user, but behind the scene for that particular user you always have a contact, and behind that particular contact you always have uh, the account mentioned over here. So let's go with this one. Okay, I hope I changed the, okay, so here it says enable as a customer user over here in this case. So if I click on that one, that's something that you need to add it in the page layout over there. There are some additional buttons over there, the lightning buttons and actions over there, so you need to add it over there, and it will allow you to create a user over here in this case. Yeah, and when you allow this to create a user, you can also select the right uh, access over here. Okay, right user licenses attached to that one. You need to put down the email, usernames, and all those things over there. As soon as you save a button, you will get email to confirm your identity and also to reset your password over there in this case. But for that one, the one of the important steps within the community itself is that you should have a community to be active. So my community is active right now, so it's showing the deactivate over here, but your community need to be active over here uh, uh, to get that email notifications. So that's the way it need to be work around that one. Yeah, so that's a more or less from my side. Okay, how to provision a community users. There is a nice YouTube video on that one. Just 3 steps which I mentioned: create account, create a contact, enable that contact as a either customer portal user or a partner portal user, assign right licensing schema to that particular user when you convert that particular contact into the user, and add that user into the community. The simple steps over there to do that one. So that's a more or less from my side, from the community point of view. Okay, I'm ready to take any questions if you have it.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hi Vinay. This is Rajkumar.
yeah.
So we have seen the data sharing options. These data sharings are across different license, right? I mean, like if you talk about sharing set, so we have sharing set because and it is only for community users, and it will not apply to community plus user, right?
No, it is across for the all the communities. It doesn't matter actually on that one. Okay, so it's only, let me put it in that way. So that sharing set mechanism to share the records is applicable for all external uh, access. Okay, for it, when I say external, when it comes with all the communities in that case. Okay,
Oh,
so the one of the important steps, okay, I know actually where is the confusion over there, so I can quickly show it to you on that one. Okay, how that works basically, because you are also defining the profile in that particular sharing set over there. Okay, that defines to which community it get applicable in that case. For an example, if I go over here and if I just say edit, okay, and this is defining over here, right, the customer community login user. Okay, so if this particular profile is there in whichever community, okay, the sharing set will be applicable in that case.
okay. But we have role-based sharing options for customer community plus. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
So if we have that option for custom community plus, where do you see the requirement of sharing set?
The sharing set you still require that one actually, because the sharing set, okay, it's kind of a horizontal level of providing access actually, not vertical. The role is for the vertical sharing, right? Okay, and this
Mhm.
is kind of the horizontal one. Okay, so you are providing access of accounts or order cases and all those kind of steps on that one. The role comes when you need to have the hierarchical access to the records over there, okay, from user to the manager and manager to the executive. That comes in a picture. So that's a different way. That's, it's a vertical. This is providing the object level access around that one, not object level but the record level access based upon some criteria.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Hi Vinay, this is Rishi. So I just have two questions. So because there was a statement made, right? So internal users should always have a more access than the external users, right? But you have shown a use case where we are either using sharing set or sharing groups, where we are kind of giving access to the internal users to the community data across the object. And the second thing, since that we have so many options to give a extra or to open up the access for the external users, in a way, can we get in a situation where we kind of give a more access to external users than the internal users? So are there any best practices around that?
Yes, I will answer the second question first, okay? And
Okay.
let me recall the first one later on if I remember on that
Sure.
one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so basically what I'm trying to show over here, Rishikesh, is that there are multiple ways to provide access to the external users, okay? I'm not saying that you need to apply all of them, okay? So you need to weigh really in your business case, okay, or business requirement, which kind of access is the optimum one for your use case, okay? What I'm trying to show is that uh, whenever you comes with the communities, okay, what are the different ways you can provide access? I'm not saying that try to apply all of them and provide access and make your external user very much rich with respect to the access. I'm not saying that one. So
Mhm.
when you are architecting any kind of such kind of a community, you need to have all the options available before you make a call, which is the right way. Otherwise, what you will try to do normally in any practice, you apply your knowledge with respect to the known stuff. With respect to the sharing that can be open up, what I'm trying to open up, widening over here the knowledge and asking you, please, before making the sharing set or something, okay, is that something that you can use something different or better, and you can define the better option based upon your criteria on that one. That's the point I'm making. I'm not saying that you should use all and make sure external user richer with the records. I'm not saying that one.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. So, and the first question that I'll just want to come back to, right? So it is, although we are saying the internal user should always have a more access than external user, which does not mean that every internal user will have access to all of the community data, right? So is that
Yeah,
the reason we have a sharing groups in place so we can kind of open up a community access
yeah.
to certain okay.
Yeah, so for an example, you have a sales cloud, service cloud stuff around with your organization, okay, and you sometimes you don't want to show the cases to the sales guys, right? On that one, they might not be too much interested in that one. Of course, they either they should be, but especially with a person account and all that, they don't need to know that one because especially for the B2B propositions. So in that case, only agents should see all the cases within that organization because most of the time sales and service org are the same one for those such kind of organizations over there. So you can stop restricting the access to the cases to the sales guides, okay, and you can give the all the cases access to the agent. That would be one of the best use case where you want to give the access to the specific set of internal people within your organization to provide access to the cases and orders if you want to.
Okay. And the third question, so it is not very clear to me. So we have a partner community. We basically enable a account as a partner account, and then we set up like executive manager and user, right? So
Mhm.
these, whatever the users that we assign to these roles will be able to access all the data specific to that account, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
So how different is the channel partner account concept if I compare it to the existing partner account that we follow?
Yeah, so the channel account partner is nothing but the uh, okay, yeah. So basically, it means it's a different partner account to which you are providing access to. That's a big difference. So the first case that you discuss about that one is within the same account, within the partner account. Yeah. So within a
Mhm.
partner account, you have executive manager and user role over there. Okay. But the channel account is nothing but you are providing access to outside of your partner account to the another partner account you are doing the business with that one. That's the big difference on that one with the channel account management. So if I go with this particular slide deck, okay, let me quickly show it to you. So here, uh, distributor is another partner account, reseller is another partner account, reseller is another partner account, this is another partner account. Same for each circle is another partner account. So you are providing access to the across different partner accounts That's the general account relationship comes in a picture, and the one that you just talked about is within that particular partner account, executive manager and user. That's the big
Okay.
difference.
Okay. So more or less, it is using the concept of account teams, right?
Kind
So
of,
where we
kind
can.
of, kind of, yeah. But
Okay.
account team is not applicable for external users. That's why we have this schema from Salesforce.
Okay. Yeah.
Vinay, this channel account relationship will be, we can play around in this on our developer hours, or do we need some
So you
request
can
from
do that one.
Salesforce?
You can do that. I did it on a developer org, by the way. Okay, so you can also
Okay,
do that. But make sure
okay,
that you enable it. Okay, that's very important. No, sometimes people forget that one. So basically, you need to enable it. Otherwise, you are not able to see that one. So yesterday, I was thinking it is might be the beta one, but there is some setting over there. Okay, you need to enable that one because I cannot see that one because now it's already enabled. But
Hmm.
there's something over there. Okay, which talks about enable that one.
Okay. So it is something like grouping
Yeah,
the
sure.
partners and creating as a group and doing this kind of hierarchy.
Yeah, but
Something.
it's not a group. I would say actually it's a relationship, establishing the relationship between the different partner accounts so that they can work on the same cause. For an example, if they are working on a particular big RFP process, okay, they need to take a help of another company who is master in legal, who is master in compliance, for an example, and how that works all together. That's the main thing.
Okay.
Hi Vinay, Venkatesh here.
Yeah.
I just have a question on share group. So as you mentioned, share group can only be created within the community. So if we have to move the community from one org to other org or the higher orgs, does these groups go along with the package, or do we have to create it or use it data uploader in the higher orgs?
Yeah, the first of all, I will correct your statement. Okay, the sharing groups, okay, that works across the communities. Okay, okay, let me put it that word actually, put it right over there. Okay, if I say something wrong previously, so the sharing
Uh,
groups apply across communities over here. That's something I want to
Vinay,
correct. Yeah,
I was talking about the groups that you created in the community. Uh,
yeah. Okay, okay, I got that one. So you mean to say over here, right, on this one?
yes.
Yeah. What was your question? Can you repeat that one, please?
Can we move these groups along with the package when we deploy the community to higher orgs, or do we need to create it manually in the community or use data uploader to create these groups?
I do not have an answer for that one. I didn't try it actually. So what in one of my project, okay, what we did actually, we create groups directly in the production over there. The one of the reason is that this is something which is very much close to the users over there, and there was no point in having the such kind of a groups on the lower environment over there. But I cannot recall what kind of a deployment strategy that we use for groups right now. Okay, I need to check that one. I put that one into the WhatsApp group around that one. How we did that one, I can't recall that one. It's a long time I have done on that.
Okay.
Okay, sure.
But it will not come under metadata, correct?
No, it will not be come under the metadata. I think there is a one important concept. Okay, guys. Okay, one should know. There is also, I think Bhavna also last session talk about a community manager, and the community manager need to take care of such kind of a things to maintain the community over there. It's not just putting one community running on a domain and just okay, done and dusted. Okay, the people will look at it over there. How you make sure that you attract the people to the community over here, and also have the groups and let them talk to each other, and also if possible provide the solutions to the problems and all that, and how we can extract a value from that one. So I suspect, I think it's better to do in a production, but I will check that one, if how we can at least push the groups, and if there is a place in a metadata to store those groups over there. I do not know on top of my head right now.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, if there are no more questions, then I think is there any other question for Vinay? You can also use our WhatsApp group for asking questions if you have, and then the people on the group can also help you with the answers.
Sorry to interrupt, Manmohan. I just have one question. So we spoke about partner community and the customer community. So before we close this session, can we just give a one use case where this lightning, there are two more communities that you mentioned, right? So what are the actual use cases behind those? Uh, because it is more for customers and partners to collaborate or sell or cross sell, right? But the other ones, Lightning, where we are opening the access for 100 plus objects, giving additional storage. Do we have any specific use case on your mind?
Yeah, so I can give that answer. Okay, it's very simple. Okay,
Mm.
it is exactly similar difference between a platform license and a Salesforce licenses, right? Okay, so the platform licenses you actually provide a more access to the custom objects where you develop your application using the lot of custom object. You do have a lot of the rules being used behind the scene. Okay, especially for an example the workflow or the process builders, and you create your application from the scratch, for an example, over there. So it is exactly the similar situation that happens with the Lightning apps starters and the plus licenses over there. So you create a application without using any standard object. Of course, account and contact are exceptions on that one, but you try to use a completely ground up approach. So it means in that case you are using a Salesforce as a pass rather than a SaaS. So okay, the platform basically as a service over there, and try to make utilization of the server CPU behind the scenes, and you create your own ground up app on that one. So if there is a need for such kind of a community where you have a lot of custom things need to be exposed on the community, then you will use that particular application over there. There are two variations, the starter and plus. Starter is just having the basic stuff, so okay, limitations with the API calls and the file storage. But in the if you really want a little bit more API calls and the file storage, then you will definitely go with the plus licenses of the Lightning over there in that case. So that's the big difference. So just it's comparable to the platform and comparable to the sales and service cloud licenses in that case.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. With respect to price, these Lightning 2 licenses are bit higher than the community and partner licenses, correct?
Can you repeat your question?
The two licenses which you explained just now,
Mm-hmm.
cost is higher than the community plus and community.
So I think
Contact your Salesforce account manager, not to me. Okay,
Okay.
I'm not telling
Got it.
this one. Okay,
it's a,
I just want to conclude that one. Okay, I think the next session, Manmohan, you are taking, right, the community
yes.
setup over there on that one. Okay, and and we all know that we are going to the very different scenario right now. Okay, and still you are spending time with us. Okay, it's really remarkable over there. So just please the donate actually the people who are really needed, the people who are really working on a day-to-day basis. Okay, on the wages over there. Okay, they are suffering because of all this thing. Okay, so just try to see if you can donate and just help other people around the whole world around that one. Okay, so with that one I